A quick set of takeaways from budget 2022. This is exactly what we had been discussing in the lead up to. We needed a growth focused, investment focused budget. So the macro headline is that the government has raised its capex number to 7.5 lakh crore for this year. This is more than anybody would have anticipated. There is still execution to play through. So remember that this is just a number, but it's a good intention to use capex as a way to crowd in private investment, which we need desperately for this economy. That's one big headline. The other big headline is that while they're pushing investment in capex, they're taking a staggered approach to fiscal consolidation. They're going from 6.9 in FY22 to 6.4 in FY23. Again, ahead of the budget, we had said that about a half a percentage point consolidation is what they should move towards, and that's exactly what they're doing. Beyond that, there are some other headlines. There is a crypto taxation, which will get interest for sure. They are taxing income from crypto, sale of crypto assets at 30%. That will get headlines. There is the intent to introduce a digital currency. That's a central bank backed digital currency in the current fiscal year. It will probably happen in a staggered fashion. There is an extension of the emergency credit guarantee scheme. That's an important one too. There is an intention to redo the SEZ Act, an intention to focus on urban planning. All of those are good intentions. Whether they translate into anything or not, we'll see. From a standpoint of markets, well, the equity markets got the big capex boost, but in turn, bond markets are sulking. You've got a more than 10 basis point uptick on yields, a 6.4% central deficit, a 4% state deficit permitted, means that there's going to be a huge supply of bonds coming in a year where the RBI will not be well placed to support. So this is going to be a tough year for the bond markets. That's the quick takeaway. We'll be back with more.
Hi there, we're just coming out of the finance minister's speech and still absorbing the impact of some of the tax changes, but the key ones that we've been able to identify, we're going to talk about that. The first big one, of course, is the ongoing amnesty scheme of sorts that the finance minister seems to have announced, which means that if you've missed reporting a part of your income in a particular financial year, you'll get 2 years from within the from the assessment year of that year to go to the tax department and bring that undisclosed income to tax, no questions asked. And this doesn't seem to be a one-time provision, but it seems to be a specific amendment brought in within the Income Tax Act. The second big one, of course, is the long-term capital gains will be now subject to a surcharge of 15%, and it will be capped at 15% and not a graded surcharge. Some of the calculations that people are doing, which means at the highest end from a surcharge of 28.5%, it will now come down to 23%, but the exact sort of calculations on this one will become more clearer once we have the fine print with us. And the big one that everybody has sort of caught everybody's attention is the tax on virtual assets, and Menaka Doshi is here with us, who has a lot of questions on it right now. And yeah, over to you, Menaka.
Well, actually, Payaswini, I think I found the wording of the finance minister's mention of the tax on transfers of virtual digital assets to be very peculiar. She could have very easily said a 30% capital gains tax. She didn't say that. She said any income from transfer of a virtual digital asset to be taxed at 30%, obviously not counting the cost of purchase. So technically it is a capital gains tax at 30%, but she didn't use that. And I don't know if she didn't use that.
Or we didn't hear it.
No, she didn't use it.
No, she didn't.
Why she didn't use it, I have no idea. Whether that means anything or that was just the language she used and she actually does mean a capital gains tax. I guess that's going to be an area of flux for the next 20 minutes or so. Yeah, because we've just got the budget documents. Yeah. So we'll be going through that and sort of hopefully looking for a clarification on that bit from the finance bill. But that's pretty much it. She extended the 15% lower corporate tax rate for manufacturing units. She did not include the service sector in it, as many experts had suggested would have been good for the service sector, but that didn't happen. And I think no change at all in personal income taxes, either from a slab point of view or a deduction point of view, or any of the multiple requests that had come through over the course of the last week. I don't know if that was a disappointment, but I definitely wasn't expecting any change on personal income
Yeah,
tax.
there was a little bit of.
Too few Indians pay tax anyways.
Yeah, no, I think the only sort of realistic expectation was on the COVID expenses front, but we don't know.
The work
again.
from home
The
bit?
work from home bit, some
Yeah.
of those sort of.
Look, it's
that
really
might
difficult. Who's going to police whether you genuinely are working from home or not?
Yeah.
How are you going to be able to? I mean, it's very complex. We already have a very complex taxation system. You know, more concessions are not required at all. So I'm frankly glad she didn't do anything on personal income tax. Crypto will be interesting to check in the bill. But that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. And of course, some of the customs duty has been reduced or increased for some of the products, the list of which will be out in the fine print. And now we're going to go back and read just that. Thank you so much for watching.